Hello there folks, this has had to be re-recorded. I don't usually do that, but some pillock said at the start of the first recording, well hello there ladies and gents, did you watch the Isle of Wight Festival last night? And he should have said, so I'm going to say it now, well hello there ladies and gents, did you watch Glastonbury last night? See, we're back online now, we're back on track. Now, if you listened yesterday, you know I did 2 or 3 about Glastonbury. I didn't have much to talk about. Nothing was happening yesterday. Things were a bit quiet on the old news front. I'm only going to do one today about Glastonbury, and this one is it. Glastonbury, Glastonbury, Glastonbury. Get it in your mind, Dave. Get it in your mind, Glastonbury. Right. Yeah. Well, we said yesterday, I mentioned Elton was going to do the big spot last night, and I said I thought it would be fantastic. I said I don't think his voice is quite what it was, but it's nearly up there. It's still great. I think I was doing him a disservice. Other than one song that I thought wasn't brilliant, I thought he sounded absolutely sensational. If you picked up a newspaper today, or been on the internet, or looked on YouTube, everybody's saying the same, so you'll know that anyway. If you didn't see him, please download it tonight and watch it. If you can download it, if you've got that facility, just download it and watch it. It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Loved it from start to finish. First song wasn't my favourite. I like the song, The Old Pinball Wizard, but I think I've got the ELTON JOHN version and the Roger Daltrey version going through my head, and I can't work out one from the other, and it just didn't sound at its best to me, and I thought, well, it's going to be good tonight, Elton, but I've heard him better, because I thought it was going to be in line with that song, which for me, only for me, wasn't his best. After that, every song was sensational. It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Loved him. Really loved him. The guest he brought on, great. I'd rather have had Kiki D singing the old Don't Go Breaking My Heart with him, as opposed to the young lady he brought on. For all she was okay, I think Kiki would have done it better. I believe she's still singing now, although she's not really in the public eye very much anymore. I believe she's still very friendly with Elton, so I can't understand why he didn't bring her on. Love to see Brandon Flowers there. I love him. Of the last 20 years, he's one of the few people that I've liked, because I'm really stuck in the 70s and 80s, well, 70s time warp, unfortunately. Love to see Brandon on there. Very unsure about his suit, as many have said. I'm very unsure about the new teeth. And now I know they won't be turkey teeth, Brandon, because I know you've got enough money to have them done in GB or even in America. But I have seen better. But we'll get used to them. We'll get used to them. Didn't stop you singing, Brandon. You sounded great, as per usual. But no, Elton was absolutely fantastic. The high spot for me was the song he dedicated to George Michael. The duet he did with George Michael all those years ago of that song is one of the greatest duets I've ever seen in my life. I really wish what Elton had done last night. I know in the older days he used to have 5 or 6 costume changes. I think he's too old now to rush off the stage and rush back on. He was even struggling to walk. You could see that pretty easily. But I think what he should have done is dedicated the song to George Michael, had the video up on the screen for 3 minutes, 4 minutes of him and George singing it when they sung it live at that fantastic concert. You could have gone off Elton, got a change of clothing, you could sorted your pants out, you said they were falling down, you could have got a better belt on them, you know, a snake belt or something like that, come back on, you'd have been sound then. I think it'd have been great for the audience to see you and George Michael do that, because that night George was absolutely sensational, and I think that's what I'd have done. But other than that, Elton, fantastic. And then we go from the fantastic to the absolute cack. Now I warned you viewers, I did warn you, if you listened 7 to 10 days ago, I did warn you about the Isle of Wight. That's where I've got the Isle of Wight from, you see. Blondie, they were at the Isle of Wight 7 to 10 days ago. I listened to it on Sky Arts, and I told you all they were crap. Absolutely crap. Well, I recorded them last night and wanted to make sure that was right, knowing that I was. Oh, I was right about it. Don't worry about that. Absolute tosh. Terrible. I hope you've all seen them. Either I hope you've took my advice and not bothered, because I told you they were going to be crap, or you've thought, well, no, Dave, you might be right, but let's view it for ourselves and let's see what we think. And I'm sure if you've seen her last night, you'll think, oh my God, Dave was spot on. He could be the new Simon Cowell. Well, I could be. I know my stuff, don't worry about that. Oh God, she was bad. Really bad. For the first song or two, I could barely hear her, but I knew she was bad, so I thought, well, that's not so bad, at least she's not that loud. Then they got the mic volume turned up, you could hear all the time, then you're thinking, oh my God, Debbie, what's going on? What's going on, love? I mean, there was a time when she used to sing her songs. Now she talks them or shouts them, or a bit of both. And I don't get that, I really don't. Oh, she was so bad, it's atrocious. The band sounded great. She's awful. Debbie, I said it last week, I'm going to say it again. Give up, love. give up. You're doing yourself a disservice and you're short-changing your public. And many people remember the last time they've seen you. So people are going to remember you from that performance as opposed to 10 or 15 years ago. She was awful. And folks, if you don't agree with me, that's fine. You're allowed to have your opinion. All I will say to that is if you thought she was good, get down to the quacks now, have your ears syringed. You'll be glad you did, because you must be missing out on loads in normal life. You must be missing what people are saying, and you're missing out on things. You'll feel so much better if you get your ears syringed, because you'll hear everything then. The world will become a better place for you. And you'll be saying, Dave, I'm glad you made me do that. My ears must have been really bad. I can hear better now. Oh, and by the way, I've rewatched Debbie Harry on the old catch-up. She was absolutely awful. You're right about that one. I am, honestly. I tell you I am. God, she was poor. And I'll tell you what makes it worse. I've actually got something on YouTube today. It just popped up in me. Why, I don't know. Of Debbie Harry at Glastonbury in 1999. Now, all right, 23, 24 years ago. Your voice deteriorates in time. I get that. You're never quite as good as you when you get older. But, oh, my God, she was fantastic then. Absolutely fantastic. She actually was singing the songs the way they'd been written. She's never been the greatest vocalist in the world, but she's been good. And because of her look and the fact that she fronted that kind of band, she's been iconic for many a year. So she didn't have to be the best singer. Her songs are easier to sing than ELTON John songs. People last night were on the internet saying, she's fantastic, fantastic energy, great for 77. And how well does she sound? Well, firstly, the people that thought they sounded good but don't know what they're on about. But the ones that said she was great for her age, she wasn't jumping around or doing anything. She never has done. ELTON John's only 1 year younger than her. His voice was absolutely spot on, singing more difficult songs than hers. Her voice was atrocious, and it was. And if you don't agree with me, then honestly, go and get your ears done. They need doing. But no, she was poor, and I feel awful for her a bit, but I think she's robbing money, and when you get that bad, you shouldn't do. You shouldn't do. Or, what she should do is go and listen to original recordings, see how she used to sing them, and attempt to sing them like that again. And then we'll go Cat Stevens. That was it's only a last thing here, because I said I wanted to see him. I thought he was good. He did more great songs than I knew he did. I didn't know he did that Rod Stewart song. Was it The First Cut Was the Deepest? Didn't know that was one of his. But although I liked him, voice sounded great, seemed a lovely man, very talented man. I heard at the start that a lot of his hits were written when he was 16, 17, 18, so it just shows what a talent he was. And considering he's been out of the music business for 25, 30, 35 years, great that he's come back and still sounding great, but I don't know if he was a legend slot for me. I think I'd have preferred 25, 30 minutes of his real best 8 or 9 songs and then gone. I found him a little bit boring. He was on a little bit too long. And I also thought everything was too slow. Messing with his mic took forever. Messing with his mic down took forever. Putting his guitar on took forever. Taking it off took forever. And I kept thinking, Cat, come on, you need to speed up, lad. You need to speed up. This crowd are with you at the moment, but you'll lose them if you don't speed up. You need to get from song to song to song. A bit more snappy. Credit to the crowd, they didn't turn him in. They stayed with him. They must have realised the talent when they seen it. They didn't realise it with Debbie Harry, but they must have realised it with him. And they stayed with him, which was nice to see. But no, Cat Stevens, great. Great talent, great voice. But maybe not my cup of tea. 25 minutes, yeah. An hour, no, probably not. But ELTON John, 2 hours, fantastic. If it had been 4, I'd have loved it just as much. But it does help when every single song is a hit. He's got a massive catalogue there, ladies and gents. Massive. But ELTON, brilliant. Debbie, no love. I'm sorry I did it last week for Isle of Wight, but I'd go like that. I'd do it with 4 thumbs, but I've only got 2. If I had 4, you'd get the 4 thumbs down. Debbie, honestly, love, you need to call it a day, love. Honestly, you do.